live from your living room. It's Friday night. Welcome to AMF Comedy Spectacular, featuring AK Agunbiade,
Whoop, whoop.
Yo!
Maxi Witrak,
Woo, 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 woo!
and your host, Kevin Collier.
Yo!
I see you.
I guess I have to start talking for it to show up here. Thank you once again, the ghost of Don Pardo. We're just so happy that you could be here every week with us. I am Kevin Collier. Welcome to AMF Comedy Spectacular. Gotta be honest, not feeling very spectacular lately. It's been a rough week. I don't know about you guys. Thank you guys for watching on Zoom and Facebook or wherever you're watching. Maybe you're in the future. Is coronavirus over yet? I don't know. Maybe you're watching the archive. But wherever you are, whenever you are, thank you for watching our show. Yeah, this is a kind of a live talk show with comedy and music. And this is the first week that we don't have any music. So, you know, at least comedy's in the name. So we're just going to stick to what we know. So yeah, I've been trying to process like everything that's going on this week. I gotta, you know, like we live in a place where news just is 24 hours and most of it's not good lately. You know, it's the anniversary of the March on Washington, the famous Martin Luther King Jr. speech. Everybody knows I have a dream, and gotta be honest, like I'm not seeing a lot of progress. You know, we're still dealing with a lot of these issues, and it's like, oh look, there's more white faces marching now. Cool. I don't know. It's hard to get excited about it. But you know, and then we just hear that I just heard this that Chadwick Boseman, who played Jackie Robinson and most recently King T'Challa or Black Panther, died of cancer. And that's just crazy, you know, like this year first we lose the Black Mamba and then we lose the Black Panther. And it's like, what hope do the rest of us have? This is just insane. But you know what? It means we all really could use a laugh right now, and that's why we're here. So you know, we're gonna do our best to make you laugh or smile or forget for a moment. I just wanted to take a moment to address TikTok. I don't know if it's been in the news. I don't know if you guys heard about it or used the app. But you know, it's like a short video app, and people who haven't used it are probably just like, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. Like, not a big part of my life. But like, I joined the app kind of as a joke a few months ago when we first shut down, and I was like, what is all the hype about? This is probably really dumb. And then like, I found I was kind of addicted to it, and it's just very, I don't know. There's something about it, and you know, Donald Trump has now issued an order effectively asking TikTok's parent company, ByteDance, who's a Chinese company, to sell to an American company or they're going to be effectively banned in our country, which is, I guess, fascist, but, you know, whatever. I just, it's a little crazy to me that, like, he's talking about it's because of security concerns, this app, you know, and it's like Edward Snowden is still not allowed in our country, an American citizen, because he exposed that the NSA is constantly watching us all the time. And I don't think that's changed. So last I checked, like, we don't need an app for the government to watch us. But hey, it's China, you know, coronavirus bad. And, you know, like, I'm not saying China's perfect. They're not the greatest country. I don't like that they're basically have internment camps right now for Muslims in their country. But come on, this is an app where people dance and lip sync. And I'm going to be honest, I think in the past few months, with all of us struggling with our mental health and things, like just not having all the things we're used to having, it's done more for Americans' mental health and well-being than Donald Trump has done his entire presidency, probably his whole life. And that's why he wants to ban it, because a bunch of Gen Z people that may not even be able to vote until the next election, when hopefully Donald Trump's no longer with us, they duped him. They made him look dumb, which isn't hard. I mean, they fooled his campaign into thinking that thousands and thousands of people were coming to his rally during a pandemic. And lo and behold, maybe you should have, I don't know, had a better way of signing up that didn't suck so much. And it's just lame that, I just think it's lame. Like I'm just starting to gain some traction on that app and feel like, woo, cool. And here we are, just like, and then the people that might buy it is like Microsoft, Walmart, Oracle. And it's just crazy that all these things that are happening always come back to Bill Gates somehow. Like, oh yeah, he's behind coronavirus or something. It's like, he's legitimately like trying to save lives and eradicate diseases and like step down from a huge role in a company so he could do that. But sure, yeah, it's all his fault. I just don't get it. I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. We had people this week brought a guillotine to Jeff Bezos's house. I don't know if you guys heard about that. Trying to protest how rich he is. But it is a little insane. Like you think about, his own workers live below the poverty line most of the time, and he's the richest man in the world, even after giving half of what he owns in a divorce. Like, that's nobody needs that much money. It's crazy. How can I turn this around? Thank you for letting me vent.
I heard the Saudi princes challenge Jeff Bezos on how much money he has. They think they're richer. Just saying.
I don't know which is worse. I really don't. I don't think Jeff Bezos has like actively had anyone like dismembered yet. So I guess he's better.
Slightly.
I'm just gonna go to some old jokes I haven't done in a while, because I'm feeling like it, with a little bit of a tweak. I've been trying to lose weight, and I think right now it's harder in some ways, but it's a little bit easier because you don't, like, restaurants are closed. Like it's not so easy to just go into a restaurant and eat garbage food, you know? Like, I remember I was trying to lose weight when restaurants were still, you guys remember CPK?
Yeah.
I tried to order a salad there, and apparently CPK stands for calories per thousand. It's not California Pizza Kitchen. It's like you get that salad, you look at the calories, and you're like, 900. Okay, this is a salad. I don't understand. I live in Arizona, and they've recently announced this weekend that they're basically going to reopen schools soon and reopen all the movie theaters and bars and gyms. And, you know, it's open to anyone who wants to come in, especially if your name is COVID. So that's exciting. It's an exciting development. Yeah, it's just been a weird week. So like normally I'm just so happy to tell jokes and stuff, but I'm happy to just be here with you guys and enjoy your company, and just remind you that world might suck, but we're still trying, right? We get up every day.
Yeah.
We do the best we can. On this show, I do like to bring on comedians and musicians and, ordinary people, and just try to connect, like I feel like we're so disconnected right now being apart physically, that it's like, it's the best that we can do to just like see how people are doing, you know, talk about just even the most mundane things. I think right now is just, it's just important to be like, hey, look, we have a, you know, we're just having a personal one-on-one. So with that, I would like to welcome our first guest for the evening, AK Agunbiade. You could join us on the virtual stage.
All right. Okay.
Welcome.
Hey
How
guys.
are you?
Yo, I'm gonna be honest, Kevin, I think I talked to you about this earlier. I was just about to be like, yo, I'm not sure if I can make it. So I found out about Chadwick Boseman and I was like, dude, this is some sad ass shit. But just before I start, just because I'm also gonna make a reference to him later in my routine, if Chadwick Boseman could fight through cancer and shooting for Black Panther in between his treatments, I'm like, yo, I'm gonna make it through this this set tonight. But anyways, hey y'all, I'm AK Agunbiade, and I'm a Black man who sucked at basketball growing up. If there's one thing you're expected to be great at in this country as a Black man, it's basketball and being the president of the United States of America. That's my hashtag I miss Obama reference. Now, couple that with my first name actually being Abdul Kareem, which sounds so close to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the Lakers basketball legend, that I'm expected to be fucking great. So what you call disappointment. It's like the same feeling you get when you meet a white guy from Boston and he's not racist. You're like, damn, I wanted to fight you, but now I gotta be nice and tell you that it's okay. A life moves on without Tom Brady.
Well, welcome to the show. I do like to check out in on people. Just like, how are you doing lately? Like, how's it going for you?
How's it going for me?
Yeah.
It's going great. It's going great. Honestly, it's going great.
Yeah. Where'd you grow up? Like, where are you from originally?
Well, originally, you gotta go back to the motherland.
No, I'm just mean like, you know, like we backtrack. No, just kidding.
No, I grew
No,
up.
like we don't really know each other that well. You reached out to me beyond the show, so I just like to kind of like hear about how you got to where you are today. Like, what are you all about?
Well, I grew up all over the place, man. I grew up like in Nigeria, but then I moved to the U.S. and like when I was 6, St. Louis, and then had to unfortunately tell people I'm from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah. And how did you decide to get into comedy? Like, was there some sort of, I don't know, something that led you into it, or was it just something you always wanted to try?
Oh, honestly, I was in Washington, D.C. for a year. I tried stand up a little bit in college, but I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But I was in D.C. for a year, and then I went to like an open mic night, and I'm like, yo, I could do this. And then I tried it, and I didn't know what I was doing. I'm gonna keep doing this. So it was a lot of fun.
For sure. How long you been doing comedy?
5 years.
All right, and yeah, and now we transition to whatever this is, you know.
I don't know. It's it seems like feels like a warped reality a little bit. Like I don't know what this is. It's just like life is like.
You got the dance moves going there. What's something interesting about you that you could share with us that we probably wouldn't expect? Maybe, I don't know.
I wrote my college acceptance essay on the Power Rangers.
Ah!
Okay.
Man, I love that fucking show. It was kind of a racist ass show, but I loved it.
I know, right?
The original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was so interesting. It was like
What was the take? Like, what was the arc on that? Just how much you love it?
I mean, the arc was I love it, but the arc I threw on that was like, what did I say? I was like, yo, although they're like fighting these people and, people criticize them for being all about violence, I'm like, when the free time, they volunteer in the community and they help people, I'm like, that's what I learned from that shit. And they're great.
And that was when you knew you just had to be part of a fraternity, or?
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, I fight crime, but also
clean up.
Community. Of course. And I always wear the same colors as my Power Ranger outfit.
Exactly. I was a Purple Ranger, aka Barney.
Yeah. The power of love. Like, that reminds me of like the Captain Planet. Like, all the Planeteers, they all have these like special powers, like fire, wind, earth, and they can like do stuff with them. And then there's the one guy, he's like, heart, and they're like, sure, love on them, like hug them to death. You know, like.
I still never knew like why that guy had heart. Like I didn't like. I'm like, okay.
I think it was just because they didn't want like Captain Planet to be heartless. I guess they're like, I guess we got to give him like some sort of. Exactly. I don't know.
That's how I
know
felt.
What they were thinking.
That's how I felt about Harry Potter and like the Hufflepuff house. You know what I mean? They had like, they had freaking, Gryffindor. They knew Harry was gonna be in that. They had Slytherin, like the opposite of that. They had, was a Ravenclaw supposed to be the smart. And they're like, love and friendship. Like,
Hufflepuff's just everybody else. They're just like, yeah, you're here.
Exactly.
You made it just barely into the magical school. You qualified.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for being here. I'm going to give you your time on the virtual stage in your whatever room you're in, wherever you are, which is kind of amazing. And take it away, Dave.
Okay, sounds good. Hey, y'all, I'm AK Agunbiade, and I'm a Black man who sucked at basketball growing up. If there's one thing you're expected to be great at in this country as a Black man, it's basketball and being the president of the United States of America. Hashtag I miss Obama. Now, couple that with my first name being Abdul Kareem, which sounds so close to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, that I'm expected to be fucking great. But I suck. It's what you call a disappointment. It's the same feeling you get when you meet a white guy from Boston and he's not racist. It's like, man, I wanted to fight you. Now I gotta be nice and tell you that life goes on without Tom Brady. Now, I actually remember the first time I played basketball when I got to this country from Nigeria is when I was 6. Remember this game because there was like a game, there's like this Black man who was the captain, and I'm go up to him, I'm like, he's like, hey, what's your name? And I told him, hey, my name is Abdul Kareem. And he's like, oh shit, okay. And then after the game, he's like, oh shit, okay. And then he walks up to me, he's like, man, what the fuck happened to you? And he's like, nigga, is you a defective Black? And I looked straight at him, I was like, my friend, what is a nigga? No idea what it was. No, honestly, yeah, I'll be honest with you. I feel like if I met T'Challa from Black Panther in real life, he usually goes up to all the Black people and he's like, Wakanda forever. And then after he seen me play basketball, he's like, my friend, maybe for you just Wakanda sometimes, you just like not fully there. But it's okay, guys. I'm getting help now. I go to group therapy. I go to AA, African Americans Anonymous. It's a support group for other defective like myself. We learn how to be less defective by listening to Joe Biden tell us how to or to not be Black. It's all good. It's all good. But, anyways, anyone excited for like November 2020? Woo! I'm gonna go out and make some bold predictions. I think that Biden's gonna win. It's not based on any science, no political science at all. It's based on the most like rudimentary thing that you need to know about America. Joe Biden now not only has one black best friend, he has two. So theoretically, like he's gonna win. You know, that's how things work. Legit, he's gonna win. But I was thinking though, honestly, it's a really good time now to be a white male politician because you can literally get away with anything, right? I mean, we have freaking, you think about it, we had Bill Clinton who got away with Monica, and we have Donald Trump who gets away with everything. And here's the odds, you know, we can't let Joe Biden slide. He's also done a lot of questionable things, right? And there's a whole like putting his hands on women, getting way too close. And we got to talk about Tara Reid. You know, that is a thing that unfortunately has to be swept under the rug for necessity. But here's the thing, we talk about all those different things, but where I draw the line is when Joe Biden was kissing his granddaughter on the lips. Like, that's just fucking gross. Like, you know, there's a line and then you've crossed it. You know, you can do all those other things, but like, you just can't. That's just fucking gross. I can't do that. I just can't. And it's not even in the US too. I love talking about this because, you know, all the women all over the world love Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Even he's done some fucked up shit. When he was younger, he did blackface, not once, not twice, but at least 5 times. And that number is more than the number of black people in Canada. So it's pretty fucked up. It just it just doesn't work. Anyways, like I was talking about earlier, y'all, I'm from Indiana. I grew up in Indiana. And it's kind of messed up because every time I talk to people from Indiana, the reaction's always the same. They're always like, I'm sorry. The other day I was meeting a bunch of new people. I'm like, yo guys, I'm from Indiana. And this dude's like, ew man, gross. And I was like, bitch, I said Indiana, not Florida, okay? It's like, and I was like, man, you know, I used to get really bent out of shape and I always used to like fight back and get all defensive about Indiana growing up. And I used to always like drop the mic and be like, yo, you can't say shit about Indiana because Michael Jackson grew up there. But then those documentaries about Michael Jackson, those kids came out and I'm like, fuck, I can't tell anyone I'm from Indiana anymore. I'm gonna start telling people I'm from Minnesota. At least they got Prince and Duck, Duck, Grey Duck and shit. Anyways, my friends were like, yo, AK, if you're gonna lie about where you're from, why don't you just tell people you're from New York City or some cool place like that? I'm like, y'all, I'll be honest. I grew up in the Midwest. I don't have enough resting bitch face to fake that I'm from New York. I have another problem. In the Midwest, we have RKF, resting kind face. It's a huge problem. It's a problem when things you're trying to be their friend. Even the dude on the train who's jacking off right next to you. It's like, nah, sir, that's, I don't want to be your friend. That's weird and gross. You must be from Florida. I don't know. I think from the questions from earlier, y'all already probably figured I'm a huge nerd, and I love Harry Potter. And I don't know. I honestly was thinking that if wizarding was a thing and wizarding was real, there are a couple spells that I would want to make if I was a wizard for my non-wizard Muggle friends. And I have like a top 3. The first would be to help other black men like me who sucked at basketball, and would be Lebronicus and Pruvicus, because, you know. Next, you know, some people, they struggle in the bedroom. I read a study recently that 75% of women, they don't orgasm after sex. So the next spell would be Orgasmicus Guarantidicus. Honestly, the spell would like be on fire. The last time I did that joke on stage, the host was a lesbian. She's like, yo, AK, the other 25% of those women are lesbian because we know how to get it done. And I'm like, okay, I see you. And the last spell, which is very important because of course some men struggle in size down there. The last spell would be to help people with size and be Dicus Augmenticus. But it's actually a much easier way to do this spell. It's simply just black penis But a friend of mine was like, yo, AK, don't you think that spell would just turn your dick black? I mean, it just makes sense. Black penis turns your dick black. I'm like, you have a point, but there's actually a specific spell to turn your dick black. And it's Justin Trudeau. Okay, all right. All right, I got to get out of here soon. But although I live in LA now, I wasn't always in LA, but the last time I was in LA doing an open mic night, there was a guy who went up before me. His name was Ryan, and he was Jewish. And the joke that he told was like, hey guys, my name is Ryan. I'm a good Jew. I tip well. So I went up after Ryan. I'm like, Ryan, I see you. I'm a good black. I tip. Period. All right, guys. That is my time. I'm Agunbiade.
All right, one more time for AK. Thank you for being here on AMF Comedy Spectacular. Magic, nerd stuff, I love it. We're just gonna keep this vibe rolling. We're gonna keep the show happening here on a Friday night. Thank you guys all for being here. Next guest we're going to have on the show is Maxi Witrak. If you could join us. I hope I didn't butcher your name.
No, you got it.
I mean, like, I don't know how else it would be pronounced, but it's just one of those things. So, like,
Oh, I've heard
I didn't know.
pronunciations. People get creative. Don't bother me.
Yeah. I was like, is it like a V sound? I don't know. Could be wild. Well, thanks for being here. We connected on Instagram. You had liked a couple of my show posts, and I guess we have a lot of mutual friends as you do in the comedy world at times. And so I invited you to be on. Happy to have you here. Your profile on Instagram says that you are comic, actress, equestrian, and then also a drummer. So you got a lot of stuff going on in your life.
Yeah, I think my 14-year-old pop punk self never got quite worked out. So my parents are super proud of the double comedian and drummer. You know what they're not proud of is I'm not even a good drummer.
Well, you're in the right place because we feature comedy and music usually. So I'm one of those people that like loves music but can't really play anything either. Like, I've always wanted to try drums, so maybe one day.
They're kind of like singing. It's like one of the easiest things to try because you just bang it. You don't really need any equipment.
Yeah, I mean, I like singing too, but I don't know, like, I don't know if I do a cappella like that often, but I guess it's not that awkward.
No, a cappella is always awkward. Ask anyone who did it in college.
Exactly. But usually you have like at least 3 other people to kind of harmonize with you.
Yeah, harmonize.
How long have you been in your band?
2 years. But I gotta disclose the fact that I quit twice.
Okay.
Because I felt like I was devoting my time to it instead of comedy. And I was like, whoa, you guys, I can only handle one non-paying pipe dream at a time.
Excellent. It sounds like a drummer, though, just like the drama of the band, just like, I'm going to quit. I'll do it. Yeah, okay, we'll find another drummer. You're not that great. Okay, fine, I'm back in.
Kevin, it's like you were there. Are you writing my Wikipedia page right now? Because exactly what happened. But you know what sucks? When you're the drummer and you storm out angrily, you're like, I quit. This is over. Just let me get my snare, the bass drum. Okay, let me get the hi-hat. Okay, yeah, but after this, I am out of here.
I appreciate the dedication to the pantomime there. That's the actress part of you, I'm sure.
Well, you guys paid for a show and you didn't, but you paid with your lives. Hi, Janie.
Everyone's welcome to tip us at Venmo, AMF Comedy. Yeah, so what got you into doing comedy?
I am a little weird, and I finally realized, just like a lot of straight white males, that it was my ticket to getting away with saying a lot of shit and just being like, I'm a comedian.
All right. I feel like that's how we all start out, you know, like, I'm going to be so edgy, I'm going to say stuff that I wouldn't say anywhere else. And then, like, you get around other comedians, they're like, don't do that, tone it down. And you're like, oh, no. Okay, cool.
But I do remember, like, a girl in college, she never liked me, had the worst stink face every time. She was French, but that had nothing to do with it. But every time I made a joke, it was just disgusted with me. And then one day, it was like the clouds parted, and she looks at me after I made a joke, and she goes, "You're being funny." Oh, it was like suddenly she got me. So that's my that's when I thought this could be my ticket to making people like me. I was wrong, but you know, that's the origin story.
It was lost in translation, I guess. Yeah, it's hard to read people sometimes, and it can be awkward when. Like, I was always that kid, you know, in school, just like always trying to make a joke and make people laugh. And some people, either they don't have a sense of humor, or they like have to like find a switch in their brain to like turn it on, and it's not always on. So you're just like, did they not like me, or did they just not get comedy?
You know what you learn is that it can be both.
Like, okay, they're on the spectrum. I feel bad now. Okay. But you know, that's learning and growing. We're all trying to do. But you also ride horses. You were like a champion of some sort in that. Am I right?
Light. I was pretty okay. My mom, I actually am in Seattle right now visiting my very old pony, and I used to do 4-H. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that.
Yeah. Like, I grew up in a pretty semi-rural town, so.
Oh, good. My people then. So she was like my 4-H horse before I started really getting into showing, and I'm just looking at this poor thing, like she's fat and happy and retired, and God bless her, she deserves it, because my mom was such a tiger mom about like making me ride in every event and showing everything, and that meant this poor little pony also had to do all of it. And one time, my mom tried to sign us up for the jumping classes, and then she was like, "Oh, you know what? Desi has an injured knee from that one time she fell. We probably shouldn't." And my horse was probably like, "Yeah, I did that on purpose, hoping you'd shoot me." Like, ended it all.
Enough is enough. I wasn't born for this. I was supposed to ride free. That's amazing. Sounds like you have you've had a pretty interesting life. So happy to have you here to join us and have you here on our stage.
Thanks, man. I'm happy to be here.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and hand it over to you and give it up, everybody, for Maxi Witrak.
Woo-woo! Hey guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight. It's been really fun just to see everybody again, even if we're not in the same room. It feels like we are. It's weird how many months have passed still during this thing. Like, I remember back when I thought February had been a rough month. Like, my grandma died, my older sister went to rehab, and I switched to all natural deodorant. And I know you're like, one of those is obviously less tough than the others, and you're absolutely right. She was old, it was her time. But my big sister surprised us all and went to rehab for methamphetamines. Yeah, my parents were especially shocked that it wasn't me. The comic in the family. Yeah, don't worry. I asked her permission to talk about this with you guys, and she said no. But to like give you an understanding of my relationship with my sister, like she's always been jealous of me, even though she's older, that I'm smarter than her. And I've always tried to tell her, like, Sasha, that's completely immaterial. That means it doesn't matter. And the hate goes really far back. Like I was 5 when I tried to poison her by putting detergent in her toothpaste the first time. I would chicken out though. I was afraid my parents would find out and get her to the hospital in time. But so it was weird. She went and suddenly for the first time ever, I had to like show up for her. Like she asked me to take her phone and if anyone texted freaking out, wondering where she was, it was my job to answer them and let them know what was up in a way that wouldn't worry them. So anyone who texted for about 3 months, I would just answer back, she's dead. No, but if someone texted, I'd try to break it gently. I'd go, hey, this is Maxi. I'm Sasha's sister. She's on a small medical leave. She can explain everything to you when she gets back, but she's okay. Most people backed off. One girl goes, Sasha doesn't have a sister? Like, she probably doesn't talk about me much. We don't have a great relationship. Sasha never mentioned a sister. Okay, well, I also don't mention my ingrown pubic hairs, but I assure you they exist. This girl, you guys, she was flipping out worried about her. Like, I care a lot about Sasha. If Sasha's really okay, she can call me right now. I'm very concerned. I'm like, whoa, you are way better at this sister thing than I am. Do you want to take over? Like, she goes, well, where is she? And my mistake, well, okay, you're about to see it. My mistake was, I go, look, it's not like I killed her. Well, that's a weird thing to say. I'm going to call the cops. I'm like, okay, no, you're right. That was weird to put it like that. It's not like I killed her. Anyway. Like, this girl thought I had murdered my sister. I'm like, no, I gave up after the toothpaste incident. This girl had to have been ghosted, I'm thinking, so many times to be that suspicious. Like,
yeah.
To question someone's excuse for why they can't hang out, if it's like question whether they're actually in rehab or not. Like, no, sorry, Marilyn hasn't been seen in 7 days. You kidding? That bitch will do anything to get out of brunch. Like, means you've had some hard knocks. I don't know. If I went to text someone and got back like, hey, this is Mike. I'm David's brother. He's on a small medical leave. He's okay, but he can explain everything to you when he gets back. I wouldn't be like, David never mentioned a brother. I'd be like, David never mentioned a brother. I don't know. It was weird having to be responsible for her and look out for her. Like, it's weird because I'm the little sister and I'm used to her looking out for a staircase to push me down. Like, I was worried that the facility was just taking her money and not really, like, helping her. She told me this place was so unstructured, like, the rules are never written down. They would change week to week. Like, you never knew quite what would get you in trouble. And I'm like, okay, so they're teaching you basically that it's pointless to try to understand the system. Okay, glad we're getting our money's worth, like, valuable life skills. They would have Sunday rule meetings where they would tell them like all the rules and ways they were supposed to behave, but according to my sister, no one really followed them. I'm like, so you went to church. Got it. Okay. I don't know. I worried about her. I've been in a sorority. I know what it's like to be in a small space with too many women. She got put in quiet time for punching a girl who had stolen her hair straightener. I was so worried about my sister getting bullied, and then that happened, and I'm like, my sister's the bully? Fuck yeah, proud of you. Like, talked to her on the phone a week later. She's like, yeah, turns out I accused her and I was wrong. I'm like, sleep with one eye open, sweetheart. I saw her after she got out and she had gained some weight, and I'm like, oh, Sasha, good thinking. Harder to take down, more distance to the artery. Yes, you're smarter than they give you credit for. I think the experience has brought us closer together because Rehab made her take like a good hard look at herself while wearing the clothes I was sending her. I was dressing her like a blind Amish person. I'm like, pretty legs, maternity tops for you, babe. Like I suddenly understood how these husbands got drunk with power holding the purse strings. Like, Missy, you better show some respect or guess who's getting a nice poncho. I was ordering her so much stuff off of Amazon. Finally, Amazon was recommending self-help books to me about meth addiction. Like my very new boyfriend at the time needed something off my account, opens it, sees orders for leggings and meth books. I'm like, oh, there's a perfectly logical explanation for this. I'm a spin instructor. Gotta have some energy. She was just suddenly so like powerless and cut off. The facility called me for everything she needed. They asked for a credit card on file so she could get a haircut. And it made me really sad that they wouldn't let me pick the haircut she got. I'm like, $20 for a bowl cut, 40 if you shave it. They're like, that's not how it works here. Anyway, you guys have been a ton of fun. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. Thanks for hanging out with AK and Kevin. Have a great night. I'm Maxi.
Woo! It's always a weird, jarring thing on Zoom when I like make a noise like that and it just shoots to my face. Like, you're here, okay? You made that noise. Everyone knows. I can hear my voice, but it's another level of excellence. Thank you, Maxi. Your sister sounds like a hoot. I enjoyed her performance in the show The OA on Netflix. Nice. Which is a reference for no one. I guess I need to hire you the next time I need to break bad news to somebody because it seems like you're right up your alley. All right, we're gonna bring up our next guest now. Another great comedian representing Arizona out here. Welcome Trejon Dunkley to the stage.
Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Woo!
Oh, well. What you got in your background going on there?
Oh, this is my sexy lawn gnome. This is the sexy lawn gnome in my boyfriend's parents' backyard. And I'm in love with him. And he's my favorite. He's the best thing that's happening to me this quarantine.
So I was going to ask how you are, but I think that answers it.
I am leaving my boyfriend for the sexy lawn gnome, which is going to be weird because I just started paying rent in his parents' house.
Yeah. You know, when the sexy lawn gnome can do all of the things that a sexy lawn gnome can do, why
this is really all I wanted to do. I'm sick of people talking to me. I just want someone to look at me longingly.
All right. If you're watching, boyfriend, take notes.
No, he's not watching. You want to know how fucked up this quarantine has been for me? I forgot today was Friday, and I forgot that it was 8 p.m. that I had a show. I got a text from Kevin like, hey, you still doing the show? And I was like, fuck! And I zoomed out of the room, and he's like, wait, babe, what's going on? I'm like, I have a comedy show to do! And I think he's gonna leave his parents' house so he doesn't have to see me anymore at this point. I feel like fucking Donald Trump coming up with a quarantine plan, like, oh shit, a virus response was due today? Oh no.
It's okay, my wife doesn't watch either, so.
Oh, he keeps on telling me, oh babe, I love your comedy so much, I'm your biggest fan, but he has talked to me more since I have not been doing shows. Just as long as he's not finishing Outlander with me, because that was what I was supposed to do tonight, was finish Outlander, but I think I'm sleeping on the couch instead. So,
well, you could fall asleep watching it, I guess. That's
Yeah, it was so funny. His parents, who are still married, which is new for me, and they still like each other. They're like that kind of married. But like his dad was like, "How could you, Bonnie?" And I was like, "Oh no, are they finally gonna be like regular parents?" And he's like, "Why did you watch the new episode of Lucifer without me? You knew I was on my way home." And I was like, "Oh, this is what like a good marriage is. You just get mad about TV shows." And then I had to call my therapist and be like, "Am I ready for like all of this?"
Is this normal?
I am having some issues right now.
Well, I'm glad you could make it this week. You were supposed to be on last week's show, and comedy, life, they all, it's like you could make it last week, and I was like, hey, come back next week.
It was true. I like an hour before the last show, I was like, listen, bro, I hate to do this, but like, I am literally like, I have food poisoning. I have not left my bathroom. And I was like, all right, well, this is it. Kevin is done with me. Even after I watched his children, they know me by name. This is it. Auntie Trejon's gone. But,
yes, she has like been my babysitter. So that's the relationship we have.
You can't trust me. My side gig is being a babysitter for comedians with kids, and I didn't plan that. I did have someone, I babysit for the showrunner of Bird City, and I legit had somebody ask me if I offered to babysit her child to get a spot on Bird City, and I was like, I kind of forgot that she ran a show because I'm so enamored with this child.
You're like, we were friends before this, right?
Yeah. Do you know
you've been trying to have a kid for years.
Like that's how I know that some comedians like do not have like humanity, because like they saw that and they were like, oh well, she was just watching this other human being for a show credit,
right?
Like, I'm getting paid for one of these. Like I would go on Bird City to watch the baby. Like, are you kidding me?
Yeah, and even they're affected. Everything they're doing is online. All those comedy festivals that were planning to happen this year, like, we're still going for it. It's exactly the same, guys.
Isn't that?
Do our Flappers comedy show online. Pay us for it, right, Maxi?
Hey.
We're doing our Flappers comedy show in my roommate's basement. His mother is not going to be happy if this goes past 9 p.m.
Yeah. Well, feel free to dip out whenever. I'm just kidding. No, I'm glad you're here. I had to ask you, how you feeling about Kamala Harris being the VP pick?
How I'm feeling, and he's not asking this because I'm Black. He's asking this because I'm Jamaican. He's not racist. He's ethnicist.
Yes, please.
So I'm happy. My mother is not happy. And
right.
It is for one specific reason. My mom hates Kamala Harris because she made a joke about all Jamaicans smoking weed. And my mom is furious. She's like, that's just not true. I'm Jamaican and I've never smoked weed. And like, for context, my mom got pregnant at 16 in Jamaica in the 70s. Like you can be honest with me at this point, Elaine. Like, I've been to California in the past like 4 years. I know about weed. Like, we can talk about this. And she's like, I've never smoked weed. I'm like, you didn't plan Fanny. Like, what? Just tell me what substance was involved in you starting a family. Just tell me that. But I'm happy for Kamala.
I was 16. I know things.
Yeah, I was 16. Like, I wasn't sleeping with anyone because I was debate president. Like, but I was a 16-year-old child once. Like, I wanted to be cooler. It obviously isn't happening, but
yeah. I feel like tonight I've had a couple of comments where I'm just like, that could be perceived the wrong way.
Yeah.
Gotta love being a white dude.
I have not talked to anyone besides my boyfriend and his dogs in the past 6 months. Like, I don't even know what social graces are anymore.
Right. And I'm like trying to clarify, like, okay, AK, I don't know at all, but I invited him to be on the show. Trejon and I are friends. Hopefully that provides some context.
No, like I was not joking about me babysitting his kids. Like his children know me by name. And they are precious little scamps.
And I can't even say the same about some of their family members on my wife's side. So you're welcome. You don't even know. Family. Right, Maxi?
Feel it. Feel it.
We all have those family members. There's like, yeah, they don't know. They don't tell people like this.
Yeah, me and my boyfriend got to the point where we each met that family member on both sides, and we're like, I get it now.
Huh.
I get it now, and I'm mad too.
Okay,
That's how you know that it's real, is when you are mad at their shitty family member. It's great.
Right. All right. Well, yeah, I know that everything is crazy right now, and we are all having a hard time keeping a track of the days that are running together. But I appreciate you making the effort to get here, despite the mishaps along the way. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you your time. So.
All right. How much time do I have?
7 minutes.
All right, let's do this. I have been. It's been wild, man. I've been thinking a lot about big dick energy. And I've been thinking about like trying to make it more gender neutral. And I think I have big tit energy more, or like I have like confidence, but I also have back problems. But also babies like really like me because they know that there's a source of nutrients near. I have gone past like the sexy tit level to like the maternal tit level, where like at this point I'm sure every dude that's into me is like, let me lay my head upon your bosom and tell you all my problems, because that's all they've ever done for me. It's nice, it's interesting. Especially I just turned 26 in July. And that was also the month when I started having to hold on to multiple pieces of furniture to get off my knees. So my party days are done. And I'm glad I pinned one down before I lost my fun streak. I specifically remember there was a point I was brushing my teeth at like 8:30, and my boyfriend's like, "You dropping in already?" And I'm like, "I should have been in bed 30 minutes ago." I'm old. I'm almost at the point. There's a point with middle-aged Black people. I'm sure other Black guy who was on here, this point. Sorry, dude, I forgot your name. Corona's been wild. There's a point when you're a middle-aged Black person, when you find a younger relative listening to something from your youth, and you say, "What y'all know about that?" And then you start popping and locking or jiving or whatever the fuck it is that you do. Mm-hmm. And at that point, a tin of Dominoes and a single Black and Mild appears on your coffee table. And that is when you know that you are the uncle or the auntie. And I had my moment. My niece is 16. So she's going through a lot. Like, not only is she trans, but she's also emo. So you can see how that's going for our family. But I went over to my mom's house a couple of weeks ago, and she was listening to Panic at the Disco, and not like one of the new pop punk hits, but like A Fever You Can't Sweat Out, like my music. And I'm just like staring at her. I'm like, what do you know about Brendan Urie? And I felt menopause come on. It was a wild feeling. Oh man, I've been good. This quarantine has been fucking wild. I live with my boyfriend's parents, which you might think is lame. Like, originally it was weird, but for the past 6 months, I have had a pool, a home gym, and a postmenopausal woman to hold me while I cry about the state of the world. So who is winning quarantine right now? No, my boyfriend's great. We actually went to San Diego for my birthday, which was really sweet. He was really great. Like, most dudes I know didn't even know that I had a birthday. I guess they just assumed that I sprung out of my daddy issues fully formed like Athena. Or they broke up with me right before my birthday because texting me happy birthday was us moving too fast and we're not really like at that point yet. But I love my boyfriend. Being in this relationship has really just kind of highlighted, though, how shitty every other one was for the past 8 years. Like, my bar was so low, I was getting drinks with Jeffrey Dahmer in hell, man. It was wild. I remember my low point. This was my rock bottom, and I just stayed at rock bottom for a few years. But I remember this one time I went to this guy's house, and he asked me if I wanted to have like a couple of drinks. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I was expecting like a shot of tequila, like a Budweiser, like anything besides a jug of wine. Like a full, like tiny handle, big bottle sangria jug of wine, like one of those Italian ones that your alcoholic aunt doesn't even drink. And like he wasn't even ashamed of it. Like he was looking at me like this was his top shelf collection. And I was just like, dude, at this point, just mix some Kool-Aid and rubbing alcohol and pretend like you respect me. It was goddamn wild. I'm getting older. I say as a 26-year-old, but like I feel myself getting older. Like my back is hurting, and like every time I see an 18-year-old, my mind just goes to, how do I protect you? Like, I know you're in danger. I don't know why. Maybe it's a pyramid scheme. Maybe it's a dude in an electro funk band that I've never heard about. But like, just put your head on my bosom, kid. Okay. This isn't a sexual thing. This is a motherly thing. Just have a gin and tonic. Okay. I know your mom won't give it to you, but I feel better if you drink at my house and on the street. Okay. Just come here. All right, guys, you have been great. I got to finish up the season of Outlander because I am elderly. Thank you guys so much for having me.
All right. Thank you, Trejon, for being here. You know, you missed my rant about TikTok earlier, and I think the world, just the state of the world. It's been one of those weeks for me, and I'm sure a lot of people, but I want to thank everyone who came out to watch this on Zoom and Facebook. You know, we are on all the social medias. We have AMF Comedy on Instagram, and Facebook is just facebook.com/AMF Comedy. We do have a YouTube channel. It doesn't have a fancy link, but we do have a link on our social medias to get to that. And basically, I've been uploading all the episodes there. So if you missed one, go back and check it out on our archive. And, you know, we'll be back next Friday. We're here every Friday, 8 p.m. East Pacific, which right now is easy for me in Arizona, but in October, if I'm still doing this and the time changes, I'm going to get real confused. So we'll figure it out. But yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you to all our comedians tonight, AK, Maxi, Trejon, and you. We'll see you next week. Have a great weekend. This is AMF Comedy. Spectacular.